All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. A big question I get on this channel is how do I find the newer projects? I like Bitcoin, I like Ethereum, but DeFi and NFTs and just the cryptocurrency space in general, it's so new. How do I find the coins launching today? Well, in today's video, I want to talk about TrustSwap, currently trading at $3.78 per token per swap. I know many of you already own Swap. We've covered them on the channel before, but as one of the emerging crypto launchpads, I want to share with you what TrustSwap is, how they're aiming to be one of the top launchpads in the space, what SmartLaunch is, how it's a game changer for cryptocurrency security, and much, much more. We have partnered with them today to bring you this video. Like always, check the timestamps down below, and let's jump in. TrustSwap is a full-service digital asset ecosystem. So they are providing a suite of trustless, non-custodial tools for either individuals or cryptocurrency projects to interact in this space. Whether it's SmartLock or SmartSwap or their Launchpad, let's break this down and talk about how this affects you. So first, let's talk about their use case that I find the most interesting. I think it's been one of their most successful, their Launchpad. The TrustSwap Launchpad is your ticket to early access to the best new crypto and DeFi tokens in the space. And of course, you know that when you invest in cryptocurrency, you take on a lot of risk. That is the nature of the beast. But they have had success with the projects that they have taken on in their Launchpad. And this is something that sets TrustSwap as a Launchpad apart. They vet the projects and then only bring the best to their community. And I like this. This is sort of their mission statement for themselves as a launchpad. In the traditional world of finance, venture capitalists get priority access to early stage startups. Because of this exclusivity, the general public gets stuck buying it later at higher prices, creating an unfair situation. TrustSwap is looking to provide accessibility to everybody. With TrustSwap, you become the VC and gain priority access to early stage startups. By staking swap, so that's your ticket in, you get guaranteed access. The more swap you stake, the larger allocation you receive. So this is one of the main differences with TrustSwap as a launchpad in comparison to Polkadot or DuckDAO. They're all just slightly different. For example, to gain early access, you stake 4,000 swap and you get a guaranteed allocation. Now, that's not nothing. That still is significant. But in comparison to the other platforms, TrustSwap does have one of the lowest barriers to entry, and everybody who qualifies does get a guaranteed allocation. You also have the option to stake extra to receive extra, up to 2 times the bonus on your Launchpad allocation. And of course, this is a very easy launch process compared to the competition. You have up to 12 hours to participate. No rush, no worries, which is one of the many things that differentiates TrustSwap and makes it more accessible. And just to get even more specific, this is of course pending KYC, and there are no gas wars. So if Ethereum is really congested, the rich who can afford to pay more aren't able to push the little guy out, which I like. That's a lot of information, so give me your thoughts on the TrustSwap Launchpad. I know many people in our audience have got in on some of these, so let me know your experience down below in the comment section. But let's keep going. The next thing that's really interesting to me is SmartLaunch. TrustSwap releases SmartLaunch to boost crypto security, and one component of SmartLaunch is Mint, which allows developers to create fully audited tokens within minutes and no cost. And auditing your cryptocurrency's code, while it can be expensive for teams, obviously vital in this cryptocurrency realm. I could see something like this really catching on as DeFi goes more mainstream. Now, Mint is actually one part of TrustSwap's SmartLaunch. It's coupled alongside liquidity locks and token locks. Now, the benefit of token locks, pretty obvious. If you see a project's team or project's early investors lock up their tokens in non-custodial smart contracts, that's a huge green flag that they're not going to dump. They're in it for the long term. Liquidity locks, obviously, maybe even bigger. DeFi projects need liquidity. You know this. So the benefit of these services to me is a no-brainer. There's a definite need in the market. And by the way, these two services, liquidity locking and team vesting, are already being used. All this information is very transparent. It's at team.finance, and we can see over 420 million total locked token value, over 44 million total locked liquidity value, and we can see how many months until the next unlock. We can see how much of certain teams' liquidity or tokens are locked. Some are at 99, some are at 14. Everything is very customizable, and it's cool to see this kind of stuff in use. But generally speaking, thus far, what are your thoughts on this? Because we could see a point as DeFi gets more mainstream that investors refuse to put their money into a project unless they see a project proving their trustlessness with services like this. Let's even dig a little deeper on this. I want to share with you a 90-second clip from founder of TrustSwap, Jeff Kurdakis, talking about this holy trinity of security, why this is important, what to expect with the upcoming launch of Mint/secure contracts, and why this matters to you. Watch this.
Right now we have token locks and liquidity locks. And right now we're number one. We're leading. We just acquired our number one competitor. And so we're number one by a mile in both of those regards. But the problem with token locks and liquidity locks is they don't really ensure security for a crypto project, because teams can still mint additional tokens. They can create additional supply and dump those. There can be contract exploits that are either put in there intentionally or unintentionally that are just exploited. So what if you looped the token generator from TrustSwap called Mint, and it's audited, it's free to use. So you're saving yourself up to $50,000 on development costs. You're saving yourself on audit costs. You're saving yourself a month on development time and audit time as well. You just click a couple buttons. In 1 minute, you're done. And then you can link in with the liquidity locks, and you link in with the team token locks. Boom. You have completed the holy trinity of security. And that is where we're looking to corner the market. This is entirely free to do for any project. The only fee is going to be 0.4% that swap stakers can mine. And the question is going to become, for any new project, why aren't you using SmartLaunch? That is the name of the ecosystem, SmartLaunch. So if you're doing all three, that's a SmartLaunch. We're going to have a full browser that says, check, they got the liquidity locks. Here's what percentage of liquidity. Check, they got the team token locks. Here's what percentage of tokens. And check, they got team mint. And here are the variables that they put into their token. Because of course, we're also going to allow for projects to be able to mint new tokens, but that's a vulnerability. So that's going to be listed. Everything will be fully transparent. And the idea is that all tokens on the Ethereum blockchain are going to be going through the TrustSwap SmartLaunch, because there is going to be no reason not to.
Very interesting. And let's be clear here. Mint is a way for projects to launch their tokens in a trustless way. The fully audited and customizable token generator costs $0 to use and allocates 0.4% of the token supply to be mined by swap stakers. So if you hold/stake swap, you get instant access to all these projects that launch. And now the goal here is, when hundreds of pools are live, mining hundreds of minted tokens, swap is about to get a lot more scarce. If that's still unclear, if you still have questions, let's watch 45 seconds of Jeff explaining exactly what this means to swap stakers.
Mint. Mint is essentially TrustSwap's token generator. So you'll be able to create any token that you want with any parameters, whatever the total supply is. If you want an inflationary, deflationary, rebase, whatever you want. It's the most customizable token generator out there. Now, this in itself is cool. And another cool feature is it's free to use. And 0.4% of all the tokens that are, like, let's say you generate 1,000 tokens for your new token, it's just be a couple clicks. It'll literally take you a minute and be free to do besides gas cost. 4 tokens are going to get taken out, and then the TrustSwap community can mine those tokens. So if you want to take swap and put it into, let's say, the XYZ token mine, well, it's going to be a 30-day mine, and you're going to be receiving tokens every day that you're in that mine, proportional to what your mine percentage is. So if you own 10% of the mine, you're going to be getting 10% daily. So all these new tokens are going to be generated, and 0.4% of them, which is actually quite substantial. If you do 0.4% of any fully diluted market cap of like a regular crypto on the market, that's a substantial amount that is going to be essentially free to mine for swap stakers, and which is fantastic, because a lot of people are saying, well, once the TrustSwap main staking portal fills up, what's the value in being in that staking portal? Or why would we ever buy swap? Well, here it is. we're introducing another staking portal just like we promised we would. And so this is going to allow you to mine tokens that are generated through Mint.
I like it, and that's a big use case for the token. And let's get into this. What are the use cases for the swap token? Well, first and foremost, it is a governance token. So stakers of swap will be able to vote on proposals and also vote on how to allocate the TrustSwap Foundation Fund. So the people have direct control of how this ecosystem progresses. And if you want to use the tools that TrustSwap offers, if you hold the token, you also get discounts. Fees on TrustSwap services are reduced by 50% when using Swap. And the majority of the fees go directly to the stakers. Every transaction paid in Swap rewards the stakers with 80% of the transaction fee. 10% goes to the TrustSwap Foundation, and the token is deflationary. So 10% of every transaction of swap paid in platform fees will be burned, decreasing the total supply. And of course, direct allocations back to the community. Staking swap not only accrues direct rewards, but also grows your swap score to unlock free airdrops of projects that launch through the platform, guaranteed access, and bonus allocations in the TrustSwap Launchpad. So, I like it. Give me your thoughts on the tokenomics of TrustSwap, but there is a clear utility for the coin to participate in the ecosystem. And that is the video. Obviously, we could always go deeper. There are many more components of TrustSwap. I just wanted to highlight the ones that I found most interesting. And keep in mind, while Swap is an ERC20 token, so it's in the Ethereum ecosystem, interoperability is the plan for the future with Polkadot, with Cardano eventually, Binance, of course. So the plan is to interoperate with everyone. But give me your thoughts down below. And like always, see you tomorrow.